I think saying the word music and the word business in the same like phrase is weird.
Yeah, but I'm a guitar freak from way back. I used to love, like, Paul Gilbert grew up 10 minutes from me in Pittsburgh. I have videos of me in Paul Gilbert's basement when I was like 15, like with a Pearl shirt on, going like, I want to do that someday.
This guy did 10 shredding drum tracks in one day in the studio. Being a musician is really a blessing.
You guys see this Marshall behind me. Can you guess whose it was? Ready, you want to tell them?
It's the $1 million question.
Hey everybody, it's Derek over at Masters of Shred, and we have a very special video for you guys that you're gonna really enjoy. But before we go there, do us a favor, show your support. You never have to even open your wallet to do so. Hit that subscribe button, shred the notification bell, like this video, share it with a friend, and grow with us. Now, let's get right to it. We are here in Nashville, Tennessee for a very, very special moment because our fellow brother in shred, Darren Housholder, is working on what will be a truly incredible, truly shredsational new solo album. And he's enlisted the help of his fellow peers that just happen to be equally as talented as he is. I'm talking about probably three of the greatest musicians on the planet right here in person. Let me introduce them to you guys in case you don't know already. On the bass, we have the mighty Billy Sheehan. You've probably seen him with David Lee Roth, Mr. Big, Talus, Sons of Apollo, and the Winery Dogs, and I'm sure there's a bunch more that I'm definitely missing. A living legend. Over here we got the mighty Darren Housholder, Shrapnel royalty. All these guys are Shrapnel actually royalty, and phenomenal guitar player. Love-hate, don't forget about that. Wasp, let's not forget about that. And he'll tell you some stories about David Lee Roth that's going to blow your mind. So he's done that as well. And of course, you guys know him from Psycho Pharma, which is where I get all my pre-workouts. Edge of Insanity is what I use. It is the best. Promo code MOS20. You'll save a lot, and you can start working on the fretboard and the gym like we do. Last but not least, this is the longest introduction I've ever done in my life, but it's going to be worth it, okay? I don't know where to start with this man. He is on the Skins, and I call him Shred's premier skin slayer. Get your head out of the gutter. This is a really good name. No one's ever thought of that before. I'm talking about the drummer that you've seen for a little band called Korn. He's also played with David Lee Roth and George Lynch. And now, from what I just learned, Jakey Lee. Give it up for the mighty Ray Luzier.
Thank you. Good pronunciation.
Very good.
Very good, man.
So guys, tell us about this. Maybe start with you, Darren. Let's talk about your career. You've been playing with Shrapnel. All you guys are involved with Shrapnel. Yeah. Billy, you, Ray. You guys all got that start back at the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, too. And we'll talk about that. But to kind of set it off, help us out here, Darren. What was the moment that got you to say, you know what, I'm going to go back and put this album out? I mean, you never stopped playing guitar. In the time, you know, that's gone by since Psycho Pharma. You're still killing it, but you're coming back with your first instrumental album since '95.
Yeah. I was going to call it Back from the Attack, but I think that was already taken. George, I don't think he'd be too happy. I did give him his jacket back. I have to ask him about that one. The first Shrapnel record I did, it was in '92, featured Ray, of course, and at the time with Mike Varney, I guess we couldn't afford Billy Sheehan. So, I mean, the seed was planted like someday, you know, wouldn't this be great? So that was what, 33 years ago? And that's how Ray and I connected. And we did my first Shrapnel record there, and Andre Barry's a great bass player. Yeah. And so, you know, it was always like someday like this could happen. You know, the dream team. I just want to like just mark this point. They're living legends, I'm living. Okay.
Well,
I'm not, you know, don't put that one on me.
You go way back with these guys too, because early 90s you pop out. Now, am I right on this? 2 albums in 1 year? 92 had 2 albums from you, right? Your self-titled, and you had your second album, which was Generator Man. So that was 92 as well, right?
Well, yeah, I'll just say it like this. I did the first Shrapnel record in '92. I wanted to get into a band. So Mike Varney, being like the talent scout guy, connector, so he connected me. So I was in Wasp for a week. I got fired before anything happened. And then I was in Enuff for a weekend.
Ooh.
Wow.
And then I joined Love Hate. And we made a record right away. While on the road, I had a setup. And so I wrote everything for Generator Man, and so that was done in '93 with the Love Hate record. So that was a year that there was 2 CDs that came out.
And Ray played on your first album too, right? Your self-titled.
Generator Man was like kind of a drum machine.
Yeah. I got replaced that early on.
No, it was a very low budget. We couldn't even afford studio time, and and there was a lot of us guys in '93. Like we chose an ADAT versus like, okay, I can go and record tracks and pay musicians, or I can actually have the means to like demo all my music now. And it was kind of a choice you had to make with a small budget. Ray did play MIDI drums on a few of the tunes.
Songs, yeah. I was like, come on, man, just let me get in the studio with real drums. He's like, there's no budget, man. Here, check out these electronic things. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I tried to make it work, but zero feel and soul. But hey, it was still, he plays amazing on that record.
We were in an apartment in LA, and there's drum pads, not the ones they have now, but they're plastic.
Yeah, they were literally
pads.
like, I had to look at every one. I had to put like HH for a hi-hat and SN for snare, because it wasn't a drum kit. It was like little pads, and yeah, it was interesting.
Dude, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Doing the Ray Luzier thing on this like Toys R Us drum
Yeah.
kit, basically.
But then the third, but Symphonic Aggression, though,
Yeah,
not to
that-
jump ahead, but that one we got back into full, let's rehearse, let's shred, and let's really,
Oh yeah, by that time, we connected with Ricky Walking and Ray, in between all the stuff that you were doing, and I was out of Love Hate at that point.
and we had an original
And
band, me and you.
We had an original band called Freak Power Ticket. So, I mean, talk about multitasking. So, like Freak Power Ticket, we're writing songs, playing in Hollywood, but then in the off times, like we're working up this music that we went to a guy's house, Jeff
Johnson, right?
Jeff Johnson. Yeah, it was a great experience, and we kind of like took over his house for a couple of weeks. Remember that? And we mixed it, and we sent it to Mike Varney.
Yeah.
And so there's kick drums like and guitars all up in front, and you can't hear anything else but kick drums and guitars.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, we got to get this other guy to mix it."
Yeah. Never let the band members mix the record. That turn me up, no, turn me up, and everything just started.
Yeah, me and Ray at the helm.
I can see that. It's pretty great. And you guys all came from the Musicians Institute as well. Billy was there. I gotta feel like you, Billy, doing lessons, right? At the Musicians
Yeah, I
Institute in
never
Hollywood?
attended. I did.
Okay, you did lessons.
Clinics and lessons and stuff like that.
He went to Berkeley. I was an MI guy from, '88? Right when I graduated high school. 2 months later, I drove 2,600 miles across from Pittsburgh. Did the 1-year program. And then there was no rock programs there. So a year later, Ralph Humphrey and Joe Porcaro asked me to write a rock curriculum. So I ended up starting to teach there at a very young age, way too young. I didn't know what the heck I was doing at all. But I could kind of play, so I just, that 3 hours turned into 33 hours a week. So I grew. But he's Mr. Berkeley, right? You never went to MI, did you?
No, I did open counseling there.
Oh, that's right.
Like before Jennifer Batten. It's just like,
All right.
I'm in there.
We're going to scrap this. You guys all visited the Musicians Institute. That's something we can all agree on.
I'll say this. I was at MI when Billy was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I was there that night. Richie played with all these guys up on the big
Stanley
stage.
Clark was there.
Oh, Stanley Clark was there. A lot of these.
That was great.
Oh, it was bass player royalty, and this guy was getting into the Hall of Fame. So
Wow, that's incredible. Well, that's not incredible. It's totally believable. And this also goes, something we should talk about too, is that I don't think I mentioned on your introduction that you're also a part of KXM, which is you play with George Lynch. So let's all talk about that too. Doug Pinnick. Forgot about that little project there.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
a break, dude. So having worked with all these great musicians, I mean, Billy, when it comes to shred, right? You've worked with Steve Vai, you've worked with Paul Gilbert, Richie Kotzen, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, pretty much probably everybody, and the same goes for you. I mean, you have all these players. You work with Jakey Lee, George Lynch. I mean, it goes on. John Five, okay? Before we kind of knew him as John Five, right? John Five came with Marilyn.
He was
Right
John
now,
4
Manson.
then, actually.
Yeah,
It was way before
right,
that.
right.
3.5.
Sorry, go ahead to do it.
Yeah, he was John Lowery in the David Lee Roth Band. So when I got the Dave gig in '97, it was John. So, and we were total Van Halen fanatics. So like we're in the studio with Dave, we're like playing Unchained, and Dave's like, "Hey, stick to the new songs. What are you doing?"
praise David Lee Roth. So Dave smoked a lot? Is that what that
I don't know. He was but so that that was short-lived because he joined Manson.
And now, so you guys have both played with David Lee Roth Band albums. Now, Darren, you also have a story because you went to Dave's house to audition to be in his band, right?
Well, yeah, so that's when John joined Marilyn Manson, and they were looking for a guitar player, and I think Ray threw my name in the hat.
Yeah.
And so I would write some things I thought Dave would like, and his courier named Steve Martin would come pick up the cassette tape.
Not the jerk.
And
It's different Steve Martin. Yeah.
Dave would call, and I drove over to his house in Pasadena, and we would hang out, just he and I. It was cool. So I did that twice, and then the second time leaving, he sort of like, he sees me, and I got the car seat. My son Dorian was just like a year old. I just started Brand New Energy, my distribution company. This was like what, 98?
Probably.
Somewhere around 98.
99.
And he just sort of says, how's your family? And I was like, oh, great, great. And then I drove away, and I kind of thought to myself, that was him saying, hey, go ahead, and he did me a favor, basically. It would have been, it was better that I didn't get that gig at that time.
Really?
Yeah.
But you guys, I think you were telling me you guys were like doing a lot of improv stuff too, where he was doing his, what's that style he does where he just like starts improvising this doo-wop kind of thing over.
Well, really, the
he was
best
doing
part
that with you,
about
right?
me hanging with him.
Yeah.
The best part about me hanging with him is like my first solo record. Like we had it on, and he was like singing along to like Cakewalk and melodies,
Right.
and I was just like, "going, this is fucking cool." This is really cool. And then he turned me on to like Cactology, and Steve Miller, to Steve Miller Band, Cactology. Those were like the things that he really liked. It was kind of like the secret sauce of the stuff that he liked, and so that was like, I didn't know that.
He had great musical taste.
Matthew Wilder was one of the records he
Matthew
really
Wilder.
liked.
Yep.
I'm never gonna break on my stride.
Yeah.
That thing there. It was some cool stuff on the record, actually, but not. When I tell that to people that are like metal people,
Right.
there's what? How dare he?
You were telling me about the after parties. You used to have that on the stereo.
Yes, exactly.
Then they had to put AC/DC on to get the party started because everyone was really getting into
he'd
that.
have Matthew Wilder on, everybody be standing around, and he'd look at me and go, all right, put it on, Back in Black, and the whole place would start to go.
That is great. Hey everybody, quick reminder, if you want to show your support for the channel, and we'd love it if you would, then make sure to check out our awesome, truly sensational merchandise available at mastersofshred.com. You can choose from this awesome limited edition Crate 1990 shirt or a bunch of cool others that you won't see anywhere else. Check them out. Now back to the show. Oh my gosh. So I gotta ask you guys then, so having, you Billy and you Ray worked with so many legendary guitar players. What's special about working with Darren for this album?
Well, I wasn't really familiar with a lot of his stuff, so when I heard some of the demos, I was really impressed that there's a quite frankly, a muscle to his playing. When he hits the strings...
Well, you know what that's from.
Yeah, I know. I know. See,
there
exactly
it is.
Right. But no, there's a real muscular approach that he has, so when that note gets hit, you know it got hit. And it's a really cool thing. And not necessarily athletic people do that. Sometimes people that aren't athletic at all can get that too. But he just had that kind of sensibility that when I heard it, I thought, yeah, it'd be great to get involved with it. So I'm very pleased I did too. We just finished up the last of the 3 songs we did here. And my goal was to make sure he was happy with what I played. So when he was over there smiling, I felt, oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah, because for the first hour he was going.
I know,
No,
God,
never in
what
a million years
why did I choose him?
Mr. Sheehan, would anyone ever do that?
That is great. So how would you answer that question, Ray? Like what was it special about Darren's playing for you versus all the other, shredder guitar masters that you played for? What really stood out for you?
Well, it's interesting. I'm a guitar freak. Like I'm a drummer, and of course I love great drummers, and I love to learn from all music and all styles and performers. But I'm a guitar freak from way back. I used to love, like, Paul Gilbert grew up 10 minutes from me in Pittsburgh, outside. Wow. And just I have videos of me in Paul Gilbert's basement when I was like 15, like with a Pearl shirt on, going like, I want to do that someday. To have all these people in his basement playing and just killing it. And I've always been attracted to that. And I love the way, how many different personalities and styles. Like Billy said, there's a strength, there's a muscle behind the way he hits. It comes out of here.
Yeah.
I don't care how fast you are, you can literally hit a chord on someone's guitar, hand it to someone else, and it'll sound completely different because it's coming out of here. It's the same with drummers. The way we hit a rim shot, the way we lay into a cymbal, the way we all have our personalities come through us, and that's what shows on the instrument. And Darren, I've always appreciated and loved the way, and especially in our original band too, because he had as much vocabulary as he has in his head. He could really play simple too and just dig in and bring a super strong rhythm, and he didn't have to play a lead. He didn't even have to go there in a song, and it still had this presentation of like a power force kind of thing. I think that's why we meshed together so well, because I'm not a tapper when I play. So it's like, I think together we had that thing, you know, and that force. So yeah, I think that's definitely it's a great point Billy brought up. But also his vocabulary of it, I don't know if it's Berkeley, but they had to do freaking Paganini charts backwards, and they had to play freaking all this crazy psychotic stuff in Berkeley. We didn't do that at MI as much. I mean, it was hard, but you guys had some gnarly stuff. So you bring that personality with his drive, learning, memorizing Inve, wrong way valve stem. You know what I mean? Like all these different things. And it just shaped and molded him into like, hey, I can do this shredding thing, or I can play in a band and kick your ass. I can do all that. So it's awesome. And to see him do this many years later, how many years since we've been in, I mean, even
95 was the last CD
time we ever did
we
it? Wow.
Symphonic Aggression.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
When did Freak Power Dig a break up? Is that when I joined Dave?
That was in 98.
You guys kicked me out of the band,
did.
remember? You kicked me out?
I think you kicked us to the curb. I was like, I just got an upgrade.
And that's not the first time you guys have actually played together, to all three of you, because you put out Ava's Dance 2 years ago, right? And we covered that on the page.
Yeah, that's how this really got started, is that, you know, I had this tune, and, you know, Ray, you know, had to be the guy, and he's like, you know, we can get Billy Sheehan to play on us. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, you know?
But he's into commas, not zeros. I don't know what that means. No.
And so with Pro Tools, you know, you went in and recorded like all these guitars to like a click basically, and then they were emailed over here. And I don't know, did you have a studio at your own house that Scott went over there? And then Ray, you went.
I had one in my old house, yeah.
And you guys both did your tracks separate, you know, from each other.
Yep.
And that's been 3 years maybe.
And I remember hearing this going like, this dude still has it. Like he never lost. I mean, you stopped playing, you said, for a bit because of your lifely, you know, the path you take or whatever. Like you got to do what you got to do. But I knew the passion inside him never left. No matter, I don't care if you're 97, you're going to be able to still portray that and play. And when I heard that Ava's Dance, I'm like, dude, you can't stop playing. You need to keep freaking doing this, man. You know, so.
And you know what's changed too, probably, like inside Darren's perspective, having been out of it to the degree of making albums and touring, the gear's changed a lot. So how has that approach kind of been for you now, going back to, all right, let's go record an album, but, you know, you don't have what was so pushed back in the day with like, what, 88 preamps and stuff like that and all that other gear, but it's changed, it's gotten more advanced. How has that changed the way you record for this album?
Well, it's like I can remember the Fostex X15 4-track. Remember those? And you know, and what we did, like a lot of us, like before Pro Tools, you had, you know, a 4-track or an 8-track ran on a cassette tape or whatever. You may have a little drum machine, and you crafted your little tune, but ultimately you needed to get it to a band to play that, and that's what we did. I would have this demo of the song, and then Ray would take it and just boom, blow it up, and that's how all this stuff in my first 3 CDs I did with Shrapnel, they were all just demoed out with like a little drum machine thing, and then you get real musicians. And with this, kind of did the same thing, although it's with Pro Tools, and you know, it took a lot of time to get the guitar parts and could actually keep them. So I just sent them, like, all my stuff is finished for drums and bass to come in after the fact. I mean, and emailing Pro Tools tracks, like that's amazing that you can even do that.
Come a long way, right?
You know?
Yeah.
But I'll say this, and we just did 5 songs that I had similarly, like over this last year and a half. And when these guys had finished their tracks, Scott, you know, the producer here, said, "Hey man, we need to get Darren to come out here and like work up some songs like with these guys." So that's what we've done here. There's 3 songs that, you know, I come in with a song, and we work our way through it, and Billy is able to write and parts, and Ray can be like, no, they do this, and like we're able to like write the song and finish it like together.
It's a different when you're present together, and it's I built a new studio here in Nash, and Billy lives in Nash here with us, and he lives still in California. So, but I mean, you obviously can email files all day long. I can do a track for someone in Australia tonight if I want to. But there's something about getting in a room and just jamming and hashing parts out. You're like, oh, we should double that. Or that section kind of happens too many times. Boom, and you're next thing you know, the thing that had roots blossoms into this beautiful tune that maybe surpassed what the idea he had or whatever.
Surpasses the idea that I had. Absolutely.
Surpass.
Yeah.
That was a wrong vocabulary.
No, when you deal with these guys, and what.
Enhance the idea. That's what I meant to say.
See this, Darren. What's your expectation as far as release date goes for this, and what would you like to see happen with the album? Would you like to hit the road, do a small set of dates at club shows, or how do you see it going? The best way they can go. How would you like to see it?
How do I see it going? Is releasing the music and hoping that people will find it and hear it. And really, I mean that's it. There's no band. These guys are in bands and have. My band is Psycho Pharma, and that is.
It's a great band name.
That's
a great band name.
Job, and that's kind of what it is to me, because a band is a brand. A brand is a culture. It's a thing that you build out, and you feed into it every day. And I mean, honestly, music is my life, obsession, and passion, but the Psycho Pharma is my passion. That is the thing that really, even with this, drives me more than anything. Music is something that, like, when you have it, like, it's sort of like the heartbeat and your blood, through the heart that, like, helps you do everything else in your life. Like, being a musician is really a blessing. I stepped away from music for my business, and music was like a curse because I couldn't make money at it. And I was really resentful, and you could all laugh. But, and
it's a weird business. It's a weird business.
I think saying the word music and the word business in the same phrase is weird.
Yeah.
I think that when you remove those two words and you say them separately, it's more like, okay, I can accept that, and so fortunately, for me, the music is, it's amazing to be able to do this with these guys, and to actually play one of these or some of these songs live with these guys would be that is beyond my dream. If that would happen, it would be amazing. But it is kind of beyond what I could imagine.
Yeah.
If we were able to play some shows on a bill for a week or two or something like that, it would be amazing. At a Namm show someday, that type of thing where all these different musicians gather around and just to get that feel. Yeah. I think realistic,
Billy and I have done that a couple times. We did it with Mr. Lynch at one Namm. Our close friend Toshi Ikeda, we did a whole Namm Jam thing, and those Namm Jams are fun.
That was cool.
Just get up and it's funny because you see all named people everywhere. You know what I mean? You see is that Nickelback watching us shred right now? And then it's every spectrum of
Right.
Namm's pretty cool. So.
And let's all talk about this too. We're gonna, guys, keep a lookout for this release. They're still working on the tracks here. I've heard of some, they sound phenomenal. But also we want to talk about where we're at. Not too much detail, but a little bit. Because if you're coming to Nashville and you want to go record your album, you want to put something out there, and you got something that's ready to roll, and you're serious, and you want to work with the best, you may have to reach out to this guy right here, Ray.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the new studio we built from ground up. Literally built a new house in the studio. I was mowing this 2.5 years ago with my zero turn. Or zero turn? Is that what yeah, zero turn. And now it's to have this in my backyard. It's just amazing. I built it to be everyone has a home studio in Nashville, but not a lot of people have a lot of great drum rooms. So I focused it on great sounding drum room, right? A great designer named Sean Neff designed this for me, and he just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it sounds phenomenal. Orlex sponsored it, and have Orlex in here everywhere. But Sean goes, well, you can have a badass drum room, but what if you want to do vocals, guitar, and bass? What if a live band wants to? I go, it's not big enough. He goes, it's plenty big enough. So now I got a vocal booth. We're doing bass, guitars, drums, everything. This guy played harmonica the other day for flip's sake. I mean, yeah, it's like, I mean, anything. A percussion. We went nuts last night at percussion here till wee hours of the night because we just had fun. It's just, there's a vibe in here. And it's like, so I'm kind of slowly opening a little my doors up to like, you don't have to have me playing on your record. If you want, you have your drummer, bring him in kind of thing, you know, DM me, we'll talk.
Yes, exactly. And by the way, you guys see this Marshall behind me. Can you guess whose it was? Right, you want to tell them?
It's the $1 million question. He played in a little band, a super small band. They never really got off the ground.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, called Motley Crue. Maybe someday they'll do now. Yeah, that is Mr. Mick Mars. Thank you so much, Mick. You're amazing. I played on Mick's last solo record, actually his first and only solo record, The Other Side of Mars, and doing a lot of stuff in his house he's just such a sweet guy and got to be really close buddies with him, and he's an amazing dude. And I would always joke and go, hey Mick, like, what's up with these Marshalls everywhere? And he's like, what? And I go, this would look great in my studio. And he's like, and he kind of blew it off. And then one day he's like, well, are you gonna take a Marshall or what? And I'm like, yes. And I call Scott Bush, my engineer, I'm like, get over here now. I'm gonna take the. So yeah, it sounds phenomenal. Just to have a piece of history in here, and yeah, Mr. James Monkey Schaefer is the Mesa right behind you there. Thank you, Monkey, for that.
And you have all the gear here.
Yeah, just I mean it's my
Yeah.
buddy Rod Diaz gave me the GK, and just I'm getting little collections of stuff, and I just want to have it inviting, so when people come in, they're like options, you know. I have like 9 drum kits here, and just.
This is a great setup. Like it's awesome. I definitely see some big acts coming out here. Would you already have big acts coming out here? You already have big acts.
I can't mention who's. I can't. Yeah, I've been sworn to secrecy, but yeah, it's some big hitters have hit this place, and it's awesome to have like. Wow, I'm walking out of my house with a cup of coffee and in my underwear. No, I had pants on. But then seeing these like people here is like, whoa, you're in my studio right now. That's pretty awesome.
How do you pay tribute to one of the greatest guitarists from one of the greatest rock bands of all time?
Tone Arts USA proudly brings to you the ultimate addition to your shred den, the limited edition Super Halen 1x12 stack.
Draped in the pages of a vintage 1990 Van Halen comic book, the Super Halen is a showpiece that can rock like no other.
No two Super Halen amps are the same.
Each cabinet is scientifically crafted with the highest grade materials to give you that monstrous tone that will light up the sky. It's fully loaded with a 12-inch USA-made Green Beret speaker, a total upgrade from the Celestion G12M greenbacks that we've become so accustomed to.
Each cabinet is closed back just like Eddie's, but Tone Arts USA does offer an optional open back if your heart desires.
Visit www.mastersofshred.com now to reserve yours today before you can't get this stuff no more.
Now, outside of doing killer drum work, killer bass work for Darren's album, we cannot end this without hearing a killer impersonation of David Lee Roth discussing the size of your drum riser. Can you do that for us?
And cut. Amazing, right?
I'd love to hear. It was so good. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Okay, maybe not.
Of course, we have a million David Lee Roth stories. Dave is the ultimate frontman. No one can deny that. I learned so much from that guy being in his band.
Same thing.
But the stories just the life happenings of everything, you could just write books because you can't make this stuff up, you know. But the funny thing is with the drum riser is we were talking earlier, and the drum riser started very high, and of course no one's 25 anymore, So he's like, one day he does, at the end of the jump he does his big split and hits the ground, and we're like, man, I can't believe he's still doing this. This many years later, he's probably in his 50s then. And he's like, Luzier, you got any risers about a foot lower? And I'm like, yes, I do. And next show, the riser came down about another foot. And a couple shows goes by, and he goes, you got another foot lower than that? And yes, I do. And then it dropped another couple. Yes, anyway. But man, I'll tell you what, there wasn't one day I had that gig or didn't play a show with him that I didn't look out and go, that's David Lee Roth. I'm playing Hot for Teacher right now with David Lee Roth. It never got old. I mean, that was like 8 years of that. It was just, yeah. So.
That's crazy.
Thanks, boss.
I got both have experiences with that. So, where can everybody follow you guys as? Let's start. I'll go down the line here with you, Billy.
Well, I've got my Instagram, Twitter, and 2 Facebook accounts and a TikTok thingy.
You just started TikTok.
Yeah. But
Billy's on TikTok?
Billy's on
I am.
TikTok.
I'm not even on TikTok.
Come on.
I've stayed away from TikTok. He's on there. He sent me. I got like a little DM on there. It's him waving. I'm like, are you on TikTok now? Billy is in with the times. He's going for it.
But I do it all myself, so it's a
lot.
time vampire.
Good way to put it.
But I do take some satisfaction. I got a lot of great friends online, and I got a lot of communication with a lot of amazing people, and it's if I could write back to somebody in the Philippines and they blow their mind that I responded to them, that's pretty awesome. That makes my day, Yeah. So I stay in touch with a lot of people and answer questions and help where I can as far as music and bass goes like that. So it's a good thing.
So keep a look out for that. Follow Billy on all the channels.
Billy Sheehan shorts. Billy Sheehan shorts. It's going to be the new thing, like 8 seconds.
So where can everybody follow you, Darren?
I have Instagram, Facebook.
Psychopharma.
Psychopharma also.
You'll see a lot of videos where you're ripping, and it's always with Edge of Insanity. And it's true. You take a swig, and the shred just comes to you. Don't believe it. Try it.
Okay, I will say this story. And it's just about habits. And I had to make sure that I played music every day as a habit. So I've got myself into the habit, like my happy hour is drinking the Edge of Insanity pre-workout by Psychopharma and then working out. But while I'm drinking that, I play the guitar. So I'm guaranteed to put that in every single day, 30 minutes, whatever. It could be 20 or 30 minutes in a day, I mean, not hours. But then as I started writing, that 20, 30 minutes became like 3 hours and it became longer. But I made the point to like have the music participation in my day every day next to, I put the habit next to another habit. And then I was able to then actually just, I don't know where I'm going with this fucking story. And somehow, that's the edge of insanity. I mean, I'm 3 hours later and I'm still like, okay, I'm not going anywhere.
No,
like the old days.
Sorry for my ignorance, but Edge of Insanity is
a pre-workout from Psychopharma.
Ooh, and you named it after a Tony McAlpine record, which I played on.
That's right.
Played on Edge of Insanity.
That's right. That's right.
The whole time you're like,
wait a minute,
busted.
That's it.
So this is Jungle Juice.
Take a swig. You're gonna have to play guitar now.
Dude, I'm gonna start sweating.
It's a nice green color.
It is
100% natural too, right?
Yes, 100%.
So here's how you can shred playing 20 minutes a day when you should be playing 5 hours a day. That's true. You drink this stuff, you start like just kind of, buzzing.
Come alive.
Is it an enhancement physically and mentally?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, here's where I start shredding. So
Right, yeah.
this is not an A flat major 7 chord going to like a F7, what is it? An F7 sharp. F sharp 7 augmented. That's what it was.
Augmented,
F sharp 7
demented.
augmented. Like, what is that?
Darren mented.
But it's yohimbe hydrochloride, alpha yohimbe, and caffeine. Those 3 together in a stimulant blend. And then GABA, which if you take a lot helps you go to sleep, but it's a feel good. So you put that with the stimulants, you get a nice, and it's really the equivalent, like you buy an energy drink because they're convenient. It's like buying takeout food. But where do you get the best food? At home. Right. You buy it in a grocery. So it's like with this, you take the powder and you make your own drink, you make it at home. Right. We're not in the gym today, kids. We're in a studio. Yeah. And this thing's almost empty. So, if you want to be like mentally on the top of your game, it ain't about the caffeine. You gotta buy Psychopharma Edge of Insanity. And then you can play like Tony McAlpine.
I'll give it a try.
Remember that. That's right. Very, very cool. So, guys, stay tuned for that. You can follow us at Masters of Shred on Instagram, Mr. Shred Official on Instagram. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel, too. That helps tremendously. Again, it's the easiest way where you can support the channel and not have to ever open your wallet. But if you do want to open your wallet, you're in luck because we do have incredible merch that you won't see anywhere else. And check out the Tone Arts USA Super Halen amps about to blow your mind. Limited to 50, hand-built in Nashville, Tennessee. You have never heard a 1x12 cabinet that sounds like this. I promise you that. Check that out as well. Thank you guys for letting me come in here to the Lose Your Ear studio at this point. That's what it's called, right?
It's what it's called now. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I'm Ray Luzier Korn on Instagram. So we forgot it. No, all good. Oh, I just thought about it. No, it's all good. Yeah, you psycho
You
Pharma.
drink this stuff and I talk too much.
Yes, that's right. You can follow Ray on Instagram.
my
Do
God.
that for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have some more videos coming out here too, because the stories you were telling me, I mean, with Jakey Lee, and I'm like, wait, Jakey Lee, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's DNA is shred, okay? All these guys, all right? So we'll have some more content coming there. Subscribe, like the, all that stuff, comment. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for Darren's upcoming instrumental album here. I heard some clips. It is going to be complete fire. And if you haven't heard his catalog already, check out the 3 albums he put out, because to me, perfect blend of Vi, Jason Becker, and Nuno. He's got the funk groove of Nuno with the picking. 100%.
Definitely got the funk, yeah.
I hear it a lot.
And another thing, it's on. You can get it on. I'm not a big supporter of all the streaming stuff because I don't like the whole stealing music still.
I know.
But someone bought the Shrapnel catalog, so I actually got it on Apple Music.
It's on iTunes.
Yeah, it's on iTunes. It's on Apple. Yeah, you can get them.
All my stuff is on iTunes.
Well, Darren stuff. Yeah.
I'm in the gym and I'm like, holy shit, these songs are freaking fire. Good God.
You got to hear pedal to the metal.
Yes.
Stand your ground.
Darren gave me like one
Stand your ground, like, dude, what?
takes to do what? 9
This
songs?
guy did 10 shredding drum tracks in one day in the studio. I mean, this is like
with getting sounds.
on tape, like 2-inch tape. This is no punching stuff in.
I mean, you don't want to practice take. Like, okay, next song. I'm like, no, I was practicing. It was fun though.
No,
Hey.
by the way, this is forever.
I know. Yeah. See, these are all going to live us all. I mean, we're all, yeah.
How many songs did we do on Cosmic Troubadour?
Oh, that's right. We did it. You were a slave driver.
Did we do 16
In
songs?
2 days.
In 2 days. Yeah.
2 days, yeah. Another great record, Cosmic Troubadour, and holy cow, his 2 solo records. I had the privilege of playing on. Phenomenal.
I had the privilege of having him.
Oh, come on. You had Billy Gibbons, Paul Gilbert, Doug Pinnick. You had all these people on the Holy Cow record. It's phenomenal. Check it out.
We're talking about that too. We have so many videos we got to shoot too.
We got to do it.
People will love the Pages in Time. We got to have more.
Oh, that was cool.
We got to do Pages in Time with Darren too, because he was in the Mike Varney Spotlight column.
True.
I got that.
I was in the back of the magazine.
He's in the back of the magazine while he was hogging the front.
Of the magazine. That's the difference between living and being a legend. Okay, I just want to say that. You got to be on the front to kind of get that other one. But I was getting the back pages next to the want ads.
That is great though. It's a pleasure to have you guys all come on the show, be on the channel. Thank you for having me here and being a part of this. This is super cool.
Always welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for some more exclusive content on Masters of Shred.